P.S. Bad money. Do you think or believe there is such a thing as bad money? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world, corporate world, to the online world. Today, our supersize your business idiom was bad money. I can't remember what he said. Bad money chases away. Oh, drives out good. Bad money drives out good. And this is a really cool idiom with a pretty interesting long history. It actually turned into what is known as Gresham's Law. And I won't go into all the details. If you're curious about that, you can listen to Supersize Your Business. But basically, money, if it is changed or altered or devalued in some way, people will hoard and keep the original money, and that only the bad money circulates. So bad money, the circulating money, chases out the good. It separates the good. Now, you can use that like any other idiom in good ways and in bad ways, right? And it got me to thinking, is there such a thing as bad money? I think money is neutral. Money is just a thing, and it's how people use it, just like anything else, whether it's good or bad. And I personally, my opinion, only my opinion, is that money begotten through ill-gotten gains, or money that's derived illegally, immorally, unethically, stolen, or by harming other people, to me, I call that bad money. So drug money, I consider that bad money. Pharmaceutical drug money, vaccine drug money, those are drug money to me. I consider that bad money. And then there's good money. There's good money where you're creating value, you're putting something positive into the world that makes the world a better place, that I consider money acquired that way good money. Just my opinion, don't have to agree, but that's where I stand. I think that there's ways to manipulate people and get them to give you their money. I consider that bad money. If I don't feel good about the value that I provide to people, I don't want their money in exchange. And that's, again, just me. We each have our own morals, compass, and our own values and our own core beliefs that we operate on. So I'm curious, do you believe that there's bad money or good money, or that money's just money? From an abundance standpoint, I understand that money is just paper, money is just coins, money is just an exchange of value, but I want to make sure that the value I'm giving is positive and makes the world a better place, not negative, if I'm going to ever exchange money or anything else of value for what I do and how I serve. So it was an interesting idiom today. I don't know, I mean, I've seen examples of it in my life, but I don't know that I've ever really sat down and thought about it, that, you know, when a bad element comes into something, it can tend to drive out the good element. I've seen that in my work life. I've seen it in businesses that I've worked for, where a new hire or a new person would come into the organization and the culture, and before long, it was kind of like a little festering cancer, where that person would start and then they would spread to other people and other people, and pretty soon you've got this cluster of people or behaviors or values that aren't consistent with the whole organization, and they would start to expand and grow and eat away at the healthy organization that was there in the first place. It gone unchecked, it can destroy a whole organization. I've seen it. We've all seen examples of that happening in politics, in religion, in business, in countries, in the world. We've seen examples of that. And I think the most powerful ones are the ones that you notice and you're like, oh my God, this is what happened there. We see it in relationships. We see, you know, one spouse will be unfaithful, and that behavior tends to destroy the relationship. Doesn't always, but it tends to destroy the relationship. So super interesting, super applicable idiom that I've actually never given any thought to on purpose before. I can't remember ever thinking that, oh yeah, people save copper pennies when, and I remember doing this, 50-cent pieces, when they kind of went out of circulation in favor. My dad had always, his entire life, saved 50-cent pieces. Same with silver dollars. Remember when silver dollars used to actually be made out of silver? Gold coins used to be made out of gold. Well, for the longest time, leaders and rulers decided that they could increase their coffers. Henry VIII, one of the most famous, decided that they were going to replace the precious metal with all kinds of mixed other metals, and and stretch their money, you know, inflation, deflation. Our government does that all the time, and now we're not backed by the gold standard anymore. We're not. Our monetary system isn't backed by anything. That's an interesting thing to contemplate as well. So, bad money drives out good. Do you believe this? Have you seen examples of this? Do you think that that's true? Do you think that that bad money, that, you know, the copper coins, people hoarded the copper coins and only the other ones were in circulation. So the good copper coins, the good money was driven out of circulation because the new money was created. I think it can go both ways. We see that with quarters as well, like the whole quarter collecting thing. My kids collected the new quarters when, you know, the mint in the United States went from, I've actually got a couple quarters here, went from the traditional quarters that all looked the same. Can't really see to tell. Remember the quarters that all looked the same, Washington, and then the eagle on the back? To each state had their own. You know, we still had George on the front, but the back was customized for each state, got to design and have their own quarters. Well, my kids loved collecting the quarters from all the states as they came out over, I think it was like a 5-year period or something. I don't remember. I remember it was when they were younger. So, bad money. Is there such a thing as bad money? I'm going to say hell yeah, there's such a thing as bad money. Ill-gotten money, ill-gotten gains, illegal gotten money. I think that's bad. Drug money, man, no thanks. So, but again, I don't think it's the physical money itself. I think it's what people do with it or about it that makes it bad or good. Just like anything else. Money just makes us more of what we already are in the first place. Get Up and Go Challenge today was about, we're starting the next run through the SOAP framework, our framework for how do we guarantee we have better results after any challenge that we face than before we experience that challenge. It's entirely up to us. We were talking about the story or situation that we tell ourselves now and what we want it to be by using a create your own story tool. And I picked physical because I realized when I went back and I looked at my physical well-being, this time through on like day 5 of the challenge, I actually rated my physical well-being down a whole point, like just use a scale of 1 to 10 than I had in April when the whole COVID thing started. I thought, well, okay, that is a clear example that in my mind, I'm not going the direction I want to go with respect to my health and my physical well-being. What am I going to do about it? And so I let people vote, and we had like equal numbers of people that wanted physical or relationships to be the next category that we looked at, the next, you know, aspect of our life that we looked at. But since I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, physical's important. I need to look at this and pay attention to this. And I personally believe that our physical well-being is kind of the foundation. It's like what we build our building on when we're building a building, when we're building a house or something. If you've ever built a house or a building or a sandcastle even, it depends where you build that sandcastle, whether it's going to stand the test of time or not. It depends what foundation you build your house on, whether it's going to get blown down in the first big storm or a tornado or not. It depends what we build how we build our life on our physical health and well-being. How are we physically? What's our nutrition? What are we eating? What are we drinking? What are we doing for energy? What are we doing for movement, etc.? So I picked physical. We talked about our story, what it is now, what we want it to be, and then we'll go through the rest of the framework this week. Actually, through the rest of this week. What's today? Today is Wednesday, granddaughter day. Woohoo! So I want to have lots of energy to play with my daughters and daughter. I've got a new one coming in February, so we have 2 granddaughters. I'm very excited about that. Our fun challenge today was about being green. Green meaning, green, the new green, you know, just like everything gets different meanings and different changes. Green means recycling, conscientious, taking care of the environment, taking care of our world. The Green New Deal, very scary, by the way, and very convoluted, and not to really make the world a better place. It's to make a lot of people rich, which is ridiculous because we want the world to be a better place. We don't care if it gets a lot of people rich. We want to make the planet sustainable for our children and our grandchildren. So today our challenge was to use less of something, consume less of something. So I shared something that I already do, but I refill my water bottles. Instead of getting new water bottles or buying water all the time. I use filtered water from the refrigerator. Now that's probably a, you know, first world thing, but filtered water from the refrigerator tastes the same as a lot of bottled water, or better. I moved a year ago, but I used to have a well, and our well water was way better than any bottled water here in Wisconsin. We have some pretty good water. But now that I'm not where a well is, I just drink the filtered water out of the fridge. I think everybody does. We don't really buy water anymore. A lot because COVID made it really hard and uncomfortable to get water. I used to buy water by the cases. I used to always have cases of water in the cooler in my business, always had cases of water in the pantry, always had cases of water available, and wherever I went, took bottled water with me, and learned that the bottles are not really very green or good for the environment. So I stopped consuming so many of them, and I just have certain bottles. This just happens to be a plastic one. Shame on me. But I also have permanent bottles that I just use all the time. So that was the one I shared today. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, because I'd already done it this morning. So it kind of worked out to be a perfect little fun challenge for the day. Working on the underlying framework and the pieces for the early 2021 challenge summit. We're going to do a challenge summit in 2021. Haven't done a summit since 2019, so I think, you know, every other year, that's cool to do a summit, right? Summits are fun, educational, very valuable to the people that participate or hop in and watch them. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's time. Challenges have become so popular, and who hasn't faced like hundreds of challenges in 2020 that we've never faced before, or that's the first time we've ever had to deal with it. Millions of people have never lost their job and simultaneously lost their job. Millions of people have never been afraid of getting sick or spreading something like a cold or the flu, and are now scared to death of that. So many changes, so many challenges. So I think it's the perfect time at beginning 2021 to say, hey, how are we going to overcome these challenges? What are challenges all about? How are people using challenges to actually move their life at lightning speed in the direction they want it to go? All right, that's all I've got today. Go out, have an amazing day. I'm getting ready for Granddaughter Day, and I hope you've got fun plans as well. I'll be with you tomorrow with just an update on what I'm working on. It's the holiday time of year. I was going to talk about that in the challenge, and I forgot. I'm not going to lie. The holidays are a tough time for me physically. Not only is the weather getting colder, but the food is getting much more tempting than it is other times of year. Other times of year, I can just be like, nah, don't need ice cream, don't need cake, don't care about sweets. But I'll tell you, this cranberry caramel cake that comes around during Thanksgiving and Christmas is extremely difficult for me to say no to. All right, have a great day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.